Okay, so for this first modeling problem, what we're doing is we're looking for which points are corresponding with the points on the other figure, right? So we can go ahead and we can say that this is figure 1 and this is figure 2.
Mhm.
So what I would do is I would look for different angles and sides that look similar in one figure versus the other. So I would go ahead and I would actually start with seeing that this side is a similar side to this one because they are both the smaller sides. So I would say that point B is corresponding to point E. And then I would look for the next one that looks similar to me. So this one looks like the longer side here, and it looks like it would correspond with this one right here. So A and D are corresponding points there because they are the same, these have the same angles here. And then finally, by process of elimination, I would say point C looks like it is corresponding to point F. And you can actually just visually figure that out here by just looking at it, that if you took this image and put it over here, they would be similar, but this one would be a little bit bigger. So I would fill out my chart here by saying figure 1A is corresponding to D. And B is corresponding to E. And C is corresponding to F. So that's how I would do this first problem.
Great work, Jesse. One thing I also want to note, which I think is kind of cool, is they're actually giving us one of them with the angle at B. I want to just emphasize that. This little symbol means it's the same angle, and therefore we know it's the same point. So whenever you see the symbol, it means you're given the same angle. All right, I'm just going to erase this and move to the next one. Good job, Jesse. Let's get back over here. All right, so when I see this one, now this one's slightly more complicated, but we're using really the same method. So figure 2 is scaled, which means one is going to be a bigger exact copy of the other one. This is also called similarity, which we'll learn later. Identify the sides in figure 2 that correspond to the line segment EA. And when you see this little symbol over here, it means the line segment EA. So the first thing I want to do, which they've already identified for us, is the line segment from EA. It's in red over here. Change to a different color. This is EA. Great. So one way to do it is let me figure out which shape is E, which shape in figure 2 is corresponding to E, and which point in figure 2 is corresponding to A, and then I will be able to find the line segment super easily. So when I look at this, unlike the last problem, which was just kind of shifted over, this one looks like it's rotated, so flipped up on its side. So when I look at E over here, that looks like it's the top point. It has one really long side and a short side. If I look at this figure 2, I think the same point, the one that's kind of up on the top here, as opposed to down on the bottom, and has the long side and the short side, is J. So I think E is corresponding to J. Very cool. And then the same thing. Now, E goes two ways, to D and A. The longer line segment goes to A. So that's my hint there. So I know that J looks like a longer distance to K than to I. So I'm going to think J to K is the line segment I'm looking for. A looks like equivalent to K. So my answer will be J to K, and I'm going to write it in a line segment form, JK. Just like that. E to A, J to K. Great.
And boom, that's how it's done.